Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Well, isn't that crazy? How it all comes full circle. The Great Replacement Theory. Left-wingers, Democrats called it a right-wing conspiracy theory pushed by Tucker Carlson. Ooh, real spooky stuff. Media Matters putting together real scary Fox News compilations.
AOC and the gang are eager to replace native-born Americans and lawful immigrants with foreigners who came here illegally.
Of course, we're not working to import as many new citizens as we can into the United States to replace all the disobedient ones who didn't vote for us. We've never seen demographic change like this. It's roughly the equivalent of a brand new city of Chicago every year. A city populated entirely by poor people with limited education who can't speak English.
These are their new voters, and it is a terrifying prospect. If we let everybody just free flow over our southern border, guys, we lose our country. It is a very, very scary thing we've seen going on.
All you have to do is bring in new voters. That's what's going to happen, and it's going to be millions of new people that come in that, again, by the way, haven't been vetted, we haven't looked at, that have just walked across the border, and again, I think it's a tragedy.
Trying to replace the current electorate, the voters now casting ballots, with new people, more obedient voters from the third world. That's what's happening, actually. Let's just say it, that's true.
Crazy, they told you. Of course that's not happening. Even though here's CNN's Caitlin Collins back when she worked at Fox, basically outlining the whole thing and actually putting George Soros at the top.
From our nation's capital. Caitlin, what does that mean? What's George Soros trying to do with the immigration crisis?
Good morning. Okay, so George Soros is this foreign-born left-wing guy who essentially wants to change the nature of our country. And in this data dump, one of the memos was about the refugee crisis. And they made 3 points. They think that they've been successful at influencing immigration policy across the world. They think that the refugee crisis is an opportunity to continue doing so. And they think the refugee crisis is the new normal. And George Soros is this guy who is a staunch advocate for open borders. He wants people to be able to go wherever they want, whenever they want, for whatever reason. And for him, he sees this immigration policy, this crisis, as a vehicle to further his immigration agenda.
Crazy, wacky stuff. Don't pay attention to those evil right-wing racists and their conspiracy theories. Well, it's only a conspiracy theory until it's obvious, as clear as day until you can see it. Then all of a sudden it becomes a major concern now, doesn't it? And that's exactly what's happening as Democrat voters, this time specifically in Chicago, are hit with a real rude awakening recently. I guess we could call it the reality of Democrat policies or the reality of Joe Biden policies. Now all of a sudden Democrat voters are real concerned about uncontrolled illegal immigration. We're building up on the story that we covered yesterday. Concerned Democrat residents from Chicago's South Shore. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on here. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, take a look at this from the Daily Mail. Quote, "We need to be taken care of first." Chicago community where 97% voted for Biden react furiously after finding out that 500 migrants are heading their way, as some claim that they have been bumped off of housing waiting lists. Furious Chicago residents who overwhelmingly voted for President Biden during the last election have angrily spoken out against the hundreds of migrants being brought to the area that are knocking longtime residents off of housing waiting lists. Let's take a look at what some of these residents had to say.
All these resources that have not come to us, now you want to overly compensate for people who never lived here before, and we need to be taken care of first and foremost before anything else happens here.
Why would any leader put our black communities already riddled with crime at further risk by placing unvetted non-taxpayers steps away from our seniors, our children, and our homes we've worked so hard on our own to secure?
We are at war, people. Our communities are at war. They are violating our communities, and we asking that we across the country, and we asking and we're demanding for office of Black America, or whatever you want to call it, to deal with issues like this.
That's right.
I did get placed on a wait list, but I was told that the immigrants was taking priority. See, that's a story that a lot of people don't know, and it hurt me. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I understand we need to be humanitarian, but these people are, that my participants are third and fourth generation Chicagoans, born, bred, fed, and raised here. My grandmother, Mayrella Carrington, rest in peace, always said, Craig, charity starts at home first, and then it go abroad.
Politically, having over 500 people in our community would completely wipe out any interest we have.
Many of these migrants have been dumped in our neighborhoods without a plan in place to monitor and house them long term.
I'm not selling nothing, and I keep telling people,
that
we
big
don't have to
library
move.
coming to wipe
If you
you out.
sell, they gonna come in. If we don't sell, we got to stand strong.
That's right. We just getting started.
This is the highest, and I mean highest, level of hypocrisy. These are the same residents who 97% of which voted for Joe Biden and his open border policies. They voted against Donald Trump because Donald Trump was a terrible, evil racist for his anti-immigration policies. How racist it is to say, make America great again. America was never great. You know, the typical thing we hear from Biden voters. Now, all of a sudden, it seems like those same Democrat voters are basically pushing a similar message, a message that I've heard before. It sounds like a certain political slogan, a political catchphrase that's been popularized recently. We need to be taken care of first, they say. Sounds a whole lot like America first, rather than refugees and the rest of the world's interest, the rest of the world's poor, ahead of your own citizens. I don't get the outrage. I don't get the frustration. You literally voted for this. I mean, if anything, these are the exact communities that should be taking in these migrants. They're the same communities that voted for it. Republican voters, Republican states, Republican cities expressed their democratic will, and their will was to enforce border laws and to prioritize American citizens above all else. And look, I know these people are frustrated, and trust me, I feel for them, but we've been trying to warn you for a very long time. I've been screaming into this microphone, not because I'm a terrible, evil, conservative racist, but because I care for you and your interest, and especially your economic interest. You didn't listen. You didn't heed the warning. You fell for all the BS. You fell for all the propaganda. Now, you know what? In life, this is the way that it works. You got to deal with the consequences of your actions. And clearly there are consequences here that have to be reckoned with. Elections, frankly, should carry consequences. And they should absolutely carry consequences specifically for the people who vote for the policy. You can't just vote for open borders and then shove the whole problem at Texas's doorstep. That's why for me, shipping illegal migrants to Democrat cities and states has always been legitimate policy and not a political stunt, as many claim it to be. You can't vote for doors, fences, and locks to be illegal on personal property, and then only impose those laws on your neighbors while you live in a fortress at the corner of the street. But you know, it's sad because even with everything that I just said, we know what's going to continue to happen. The actual effect of Democrat policies seems to have little to no effect on voting patterns in these cities. Going into the next election cycle, what do you think is going to happen in this Chicago district? Well, they're probably going to vote for Joe Biden or literally any Democrat at the exact same percentage, 97%, maybe, just maybe, 95% instead of 97. You know, a real big political shift, but chances are that's exactly what's going to happen. It's honestly what always happens. Democrat voters voting for Democrat politicians, creating the same problems that Democrats are voting for them to solve. Of course, there's nothing new. Nothing here is going to change. You know, the logical response here from your average Democrat would probably be, hey, maybe this policy is dumb. Maybe economically it doesn't make sense and maybe it's hurting us. Maybe we should stop, stop it, get some help.
Stop it. Get some help.
But no, of course not. The answer to this problem for Democrats is what it always is. More federal funding, more taxpayer dollars, more subsidies, more free And so we have what is known as the endless blue voter loop. There's no massive revelation or massive political shift here, but I guess it is kind of entertaining and kind of funny to see Democrats all of a sudden essentially sounding like Donald Trump. America first, I guess, is pretty much what they're saying. That's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. Of course, we'd love to have you here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.